Teen girl discovers she's a witch, sneaks into a spirit Halloween store, saves her grandma from a dollar store demon using the power of family-friendly feminism. The end.
Ask about Illuminati, since the charting of Peters. Is it Disney mind control? Is this MK Ultra Deluxe? Occult Disney, we go from real to real. Occult Disney, Bohemian Grove and no more real. Occult Disney, ask about Illuminati. Occult Disney, we teach occult to everybody. Occult Disney, the wish upon a star. Occult Disney, you know not to travel far. Oh, Occult Disney, the new brand Pinocchio. Yeah, yeah. Occult Disney, it's a bomb so below. Occult Disney, please enjoy the show.
Hello, I'm the Pumpkin Man taking us to Halloween Town. I don't know where that came from. It's because I did the, last episode I did the Dark Disney thing. I was like, I can't do that again. But
You kind of took me by surprise there. I can't tell if that was a Jar Jar or the one from Harry Potter.
I was kind of going for Michael Myers doing the Leprechaun, I think, in Wayne's World.
Oh, you didn't nail it.
No, I didn't nail it. Because once you said Jar Jar, I was like, oh, no. I got
Jar Jar and maybe Dobby. Was it Dobby?
Oh, the house elf. Well, I have a few notes here that are Harry Potter adjacent for Halloween Town. So
Me too.
maybe that makes more sense. I told you about I've been accused of having Binks arms.
Of what's now? Binks arms?
Binks arms. We had a company trip to Okinawa a few years ago, and I have freckly arms, and I was going around in the water and stuff, and one of my coworkers was like,
Jar
you
Jar
have Binks
arms.
arms. Yeah, he's like, you have Jar Jar Binks arms. So he's like, you got Binks
why
arms.
the hell would you call them Binks arms? You'd call them Jar Jarms.
Well, maybe he should have, but he called him Binks arms, which
Jarms.
Jarms. Okay. Well, I see he needed the plus up pass. You got to take another pass or two. So came out as Binks arms anyway. But this is Matt here, owner of Jarm Jarms. Matt, owner of Jarm Jarms over there. It's Paranoid American. What weird character do your arms resemble?
I was in a Spirit Halloween this week.
I'll be in a Spirit Halloween next week. It's very exciting.
Oh, that's right. They don't have them in Japan, do they?
No, it's kind of hard to get costumes. We got the Don Quixotes, which are like discount stores. They have a Halloween section, but it's not much. I do remember 20 years ago when we'd have a Halloween party at school, and I could not find a costume. You basically had to make your own costume, Now at least you can get something. You can get a David S. Pumpkin suit.
David S. Pumpkin. Now, I don't know how much you've been keeping up with Spirit Halloween memes or how much this was a thing.
I got the good joke in the new Naked Gun.
Okay, you got the joke, but the I guess the premise though, maybe for the European audience, I don't know if Spirit Halloween happens the same way everywhere else, but Spirit Halloween is such a unique store. What happens is that they'll buy up these abandoned strip mall stores right before Halloween, a couple months before Halloween, and they'll set up shop and they'll sell Halloween decorations and costumes, and then they'll shut back down after Halloween's over. It's the weirdest thing. And for a while there are, still places like Party City. There's places that are open year round that kind of always have costumes, but it's kind of an ingenious model. They just move in on an abandoned strip mall, sell stuff for about a month or two, and then they're gone. I don't know. I respect the way that it happens, and it's turned into kind of a meme now where you've got these businesses that were like, we're gonna last forever. We're gonna be the most innovative. No, you're a Spirit Halloween within 4 months.
Apparently, last year they also tested out a few Spirit Christmases, which sounded entertaining because it's a Christmas store, but then it has a little bit of the bawdiness of a Spirit Halloween too. So you get offensive Christmas sweaters and stuff.
So a great idea. Although there are plenty of non-weird novelty 24/7, 365 day. Well, maybe not 24/7, but all year round Christmas stores. They just sell Christmas all the time, and they do fine, I assume, as long as you're not oversaturating. Like, you can't move in across the street from another all Christmas store. But
I bet Spirit
tend to
Christmas
go
store.
pretty well.
But yeah, I think their angle is it's a more of a dumb novelty place with dirtier stuff than your typical Christmas store.
So like Spencer's Christmas.
Yeah, there we go. It's like Spencer's. I don't know. I haven't been in one. Just heard people tell me about it.
What?
I guess I've been in a Spirit Halloween. They've been around for more than 15 years, right?
Yeah, but I don't know for sure if they've always had this same business model that they're kind of known for now, of moving in temporarily and then leaving again.
I want to say it was just starting to happen when I was last in the States. But yeah, it's much more of a thing now. So it's just like there's a couple places. Yeah, I seem to remember like a Toys R Us or something turning into a Halloween shop for a short period of time.
So I think this is relevant because my one sentence summary of this movie, I guess we'll just get out of the way now. Teen girl discovers she's a witch, sneaks into a Spirit Halloween store, saves her grandma from a dollar store demon using the power of family-friendly feminism. The end.
So you're calling the whole town a Spirit Halloween? The whole
I
Halloween
believe,
town.
dude, everyone in this entire movie is wearing a costume that I saw at Spirit Halloween this week, somewhere between $14.95 and like $79.95, and I don't think anyone spent more than that on any of their costumes in this entire movie.
What costume should I buy? They told me we're doing a Mario theme at one of the schools I work at, but I don't think I want to do that. That's just because the other teacher there has an expensive Koopa suit. That's why he wants to use it again. I had a Wario suit, but it was cheap, and I don't think I have it anymore. And it was slightly too small.
I mean, they've got whatever you want, man.
I might have the hat still. I should put on the Wario hat for this.
The other thing too is that the retro costumes from the 80s are kind of making a comeback, but they're like expensive recreations of the older, cheaper ones. They're higher quality made, but they look like they're the older, crappy versions of them.
Okay, because when I was 7 years old and I was Chewbacca, I hated that costume because I'm like, this doesn't look like Chewbacca. This isn't right.
It's a colored garbage bag, and then the little like crappy mask that breaks if you like look at it wrong.
Right. Yeah.
It would cut the hell out of your face, man. I guarantee you. I have cut my fingertips and my face on so many of those old Halloween masks.
Tongue, because you stick your tongue out, you get it caught on there, and then you cut your tongue.
I never got one that I don't want to taste the mask, man.
Maybe it was an Ewok, not Chewbacca. I don't remember. Something fuzzy. They're kind of the same. But yeah. That's some retro I don't want.
Okay.
Now, Halloween Town, again, Hocus Pocus, I also said I have no nostalgia for this because I didn't know it existed until you told me 2 weeks ago we're watching Halloween Town. And
I hadn't seen it. I just knew that it existed, and I knew that it was a cult classic, but I had not seen it until we watched it for this episode. So I kind of went in blind on this one.
Well, I said last week, the office ladies had the same response to Halloween Town as Hocus Pocus. So it hit the same buttons for that particular age set.
Got to be 30s. There's no way that someone in their 40s has the same style. I don't know. Maybe
I should throw out the age set again. I said in my at my school, I teach or whatever, and 7 people in the room. The 3 women aged 21 to 33 were like, Halloween Town, yay! Where everyone else was just kind of sitting there. So it had like this real notable response just with women of this age group.
Do you work with other American teachers, or are these Japanese?
Oh, these were all 3 of these were Americans that
okay,
having a reaction. So
my other description, I guess, if I just needed to describe it in like 5 words, it's a dollar store Harry Potter. That's that. One of them.
Long before though, they're not quite ripping it off. This is 98, so maybe the first book has been released by this point. But I mean, I don't think they're like consciously trying to tread on Harry Potter ground here.
Well, and it's not a school that they're going to and learning about, but it is this alternate dimension reality that they all go to. I mean, it's close enough that the analogy works. And the other thing, I just the last time that I'll bring up Spirit of Halloween, but man, Spirit of Halloween could legitimately come out with a horror movie that takes place in their own freaking store, and it could be like a theatrical length motion picture commercial for their store. And I don't know why this doesn't exist. Halloween Town's kind of a crappier Disney washed down version of it, but a Spirit of Halloween movie that was PG-13 or R could be the new Halloween Town.
I was kind of surprised. This came out October 17th, 1998. It aired, I should say it is a TV movie, which we usually don't do around here, but we sometimes do. It's only the 4th Disney Channel original movie. That seems kind of weird for 1998. I feel like it'd be like the 20th.
Is Tower of Terror one of the others?
No, I'm about to say the reason that it's only the 4th is because before this, I guess the Disney Channel was around and they might show the Tower of Terror, but that was produced for the Wonderful World of Disney. So this was actually pitched in the 80s to be part of the Wonderful World of Disney. And that it didn't happen. So I guess by this time that show is starting to maybe run on fumes. I'm not sure when that show ended. Huh. Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting that Disney didn't actually start making cable movies until relatively late in the game. Music by Devo. Mark Mothersbaugh is doing the music here, which I wasn't impressed by the music, by the way, but I'm just noting it's the Devo guy doing it.
I don't think they ever broke into song at any point in this movie. So
I'm talking soundtrack, yeah. So it's not a musical. Of course, the big thing when you start the movie, you're like, what? Debbie Reynolds is in this? That's crazy. That's Mommy Leia. Yeah.
It's got plenty of different people in it.
Yeah. And actually, when one of my coworkers that reacted, I was like, yeah. I said the same thing, like it's got Mommy Leia. What are you talking about? Debbie Reynolds. And she didn't know that was Carrie Fisher's mom. So which led me to, because they kept showing up on talk shows with the dog, and I had forgotten that the dog's name was Gary Fisher, which is genius. So Gary and Carrie would show up at your talk show or whatever. Let's see, anything else that so it's going to be on the Wonderful World of Disney. There's not. I mean, this isn't one that has a whole lot of production stuff going on. It's a TV movie,
Yeah, we don't get box office numbers like we usually do, right?
We don't get to do that. Filmed in Oregon. I don't know. Is that interesting for anyone? Sure. Debbie Reynolds pulled a muscle while doing a dance scene in a theater. Yeah.
So there were some casualties in the filming of this movie.
Hold on, she might have been dancing elsewhere, and it just affected her while making it. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, what was your subjective takeaway on this one?
Well, I watched this and Hocus Pocus and very, close to each other, and I instantly just entangled the movies together in my brain. I was kind of stressed out. Like, it makes sense. We're gonna sit down, and for anyone interested, we just did Hocus Pocus. Now we're doing this, and I was kind of stressing out beforehand. I'm like, oh my god, I don't remember what's in what movie. They've kind of melded together a bit for me.
Real. Okay, I mean, I find
they are distinctly different movies. It's just proximity, I think. I saw both of them for the first time within a few nights of each other, and Hocus Pocus obviously has higher production values than.
That's what I was going to say. That's the dead giveaway. Is that one of them? They're literally wearing a costume that you could get yourself from Amazon, and the other one is kind of a high budget theatrical production that has legitimate special effects.
I mean, obviously there's a little more acting power punch here, with all respect to Debbie Reynolds. But here, second build is Judith Hoag, who was April O'Neil in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Philip Van Dyke, was that Dick's brother? No, it's a kid. Goblin Luke. Okay, I don't know. So anyway, this doesn't have stars to speak of except for the one very big star.
And really, it's all about
Prime.
This whole movie is about the three women anyways. It isn't anyone else aside from the three women. And I think this is interesting, right? So Hocus Pocus is about three witches. This movie is about three witches. But in this movie, it's three good witches because it's more of a Harry Potter neutral,
neutral's the word, though. Are they really good? I feel like they're more chaotic neutral,
Well, it's so there's good and bad people, and then in Harry Potter, Hogwarts kind of example, those good and bad people can all learn magic and then apply them for good or bad reasons. And it's the exact same logic in Halloween Town, that there are good and bad people that can then go to Halloween Town and learn all these magic. Because you see, there's a bully, one of the first characters they run into in Halloween Town is just a high school bully. And I was just like, this place sucks, man. Even if you go to a complete, and I guess it's the same in Hogwarts, right? You go to Hogwarts and you're like, hell yeah, I'm going to learn magic. And then you get bullied.
Yeah. So I was crossing the streams a little bit. Okay, this is where we're new in town. Okay, got it.
So how,
yeah,
well, let me, for you, maybe more so than the audience, let me do a quick recap of this movie. It's basically about a girl and her sister that find out they are from a lineage of witches, and that their grandma comes into town, and grandma takes them to where they all kind of came from, which is this alternate dimension called Halloween Town. And while they're in Halloween Town, they kind of learn how to use magic a little bit more. So when they go back into the regular mundane reality, now they have these supernatural powers that they got from Halloween Town. That's sort of the broad strokes of this entire movie, right? I would ultimately say it's almost like if in Bewitched, she had taught, if Samantha had hidden Tabitha's magic from her, and then it took Adora to tell Tabitha that she's actually a witch and bring her on a trip. This might have even been an actual episode of Bewitched, but that's kind of the dynamic here. You've got the grandma, the old crone, who has fully embraced magic and is trying to pass down the wisdom. You've got the mom who's been living in the mundane world and is now trying to suppress the magic nature of herself and her child. And then you've got the young girl, the maiden, and she's the one that represents all the potential, and she's going to learn the magic from the old crone to rebel against the mother figure. It's kind of like the most classic neo-pagan, pre-Christian triple goddess archetype.
But then the villain is a Spirit Halloween Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, you can just ignore everyone except for the three women in this movie. They're all just background characters from.
Hold on. We're not going to completely ignore. You should do this, and the listener should, if you can. Just go to Wiki and type in Robin Thomas. He has the best Wiki photo I've ever seen.
Okay, well, can you describe it for us?
You look for it. I'll describe it. Well, it looks like he's wearing some kind of hoodie and screaming at you.
Okay. If I have the time, I'll put a little image or something up. Probably not.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it was just like, because I'm just like looking at what else he's been in, which is like basically soap operas and stuff. It seems Calabar is the mayor of Halloween Town is maybe his signature role, because this movie does have sequels. It is now considered a proper franchise. So
I would argue too, this movie is more accurately about real witchcraft and real witch archetypes from mythology than Hocus Pocus by a large factor. Hocus Pocus nails the Halloweeny, like old witch from European medieval magic archetype, but this one truly encapsulates real like occult esotericism magic.
No, I mean, when you come in and it's like, here's the Cromwells, you're already like raising a flag saying, please look closer, you know? I mean, they could have called them the Smiths and they went with Cromwells. So now you're thinking of like 17th century England, which I don't know, that could lead you to some witchy stuff, I suppose. Of course, they're bashing out. Well, it's mom's. Yeah, they're bashing. You know, Cromwell's thing was like nothing untoward or something. This is his vibe.
Well, and because the Halloween Town, my assumption is that this has existed ever since the witches got run out of normal society. But instead of just like running out into the woods, they ran into this alternate dimension that you can only get to if you're a witch. I think, right? I don't know if that was presented in this movie. If you are a normal non-witch mortal human, can you still go to Halloween Town, or is it off limits?
My brain just went to the Twilight Zone to stop at Willoughby, where the super stressed out businessman keeps seeing a idyllic town outside when he on his train ride, and finally he decides to get out at that station, which turns out to be him jumping off the train and dying. So I'm like, if he was a witch, maybe he would have gotten into that town. Or maybe.
Does that mean everyone trying to get into Hogwarts, some people just end up on like the train tracks and die, and then the obituaries like they took their own life, and they don't realize no, they weren't suicidal, they were trying to get to Hogwarts and they took like the wrong turn,
or they ran into that wall trying to get on the train, because you're supposed to run into the wall or whatever it is. It's been a little while. I have found in the past 5 years I've just kind of like stopped thinking about Harry Potter completely. So I went into the Harry Potter store in Harajuku a few weeks ago, and I was like, nothing in here is interesting for me anymore. The escalator was cool though. It was dark. It was like a fake forest with owls hanging down and mirrored walls. So it was a very trippy escalator. Props to the Harry Potter store escalator in Harajuku.
Somehow, man, I avoided the whole Harry Potter MK Ultra programming. It never really clicked with me. I mean, I get it, I understand it, but I was way more interested in Encyclopedia Brown than I ever was in Harry Potter.
I had that phase too, but no, I remember when I was working at the whale camp on Gramanan Island. So we're on this little island, right? And that's when the fifth book came out, The Order of the Phoenix, and you know that's the height of Harry Potter fever, maybe. So I have it ordered. It's coming from Amazon, but we're going to have to go on our next run to pick up a new group of kids. I'll get my mail. But one kid had the book, and all the teachers kept like stealing it from him and like reading 30 pages and then putting it back. So we were like stealing this kid's book and trying to read the new Harry Potter, you know? I think we were actually asking if we could, you know, read a few chapters. But yeah, like the whole stat, we're like,
you're like stopping a child from reading is what you're doing.
We were stopping a child from reading. Yes.
What a great teacher.
Maybe he was playing baseball. And, hey, can I borrow this book for a few minutes? You know.
Well, he is now. Yeah.
That sort of thing. Now he's illiterate.
So the girl's name, I think it was Marnie. Please don't name your kid Marnie, by the way. There's no real great reason to do that. But I think the little girl's name was Marnie.
You're correct.
And also, she follows a very traditional occult apprenticeship path. Like these are the same exact steps that you would go through if you were joining an old occult order. I assume of witches, but this one also directly applies to like alchemy and mystery schools. You've got A is the defiance of authority. And in this case, the authority is kind of her mom mixed with the mundane world that she's escaping. Then you've got the crossing of the threshold, which is kind of like a Joseph Campbell sort of hero's myth journey. But you've got this crossing of the threshold. And this one was her boarding the bus. And this reminded me of two things. It reminded me of the Magic School Bus, and it also reminded me of dating myself here, but there was a music video from Crisscross, the ones that made Jump, but they also had a song called I Missed the Bus, and it was about them missing the normal school bus, and then they got like a late bus, but the late bus was filled with zombies or something. I don't quite remember why, but that scene reminded me of this. Then you've got... Go ahead.
Just with transportation, later we get the psychic cab, which was notable.
And it reminds me of oh man, what was the cat bus movie again?
Oh, Totoro.
Yeah, a little bit of a Totoro moment there. So you've got Defiance Authority, you've got Crossing the Threshold, then you've got this guided instruction from the old wise man archetype, but in this case, it's Aggie, the grandma, the old crone that is trying to pass the torch of witchcraft down to the new family line. You've got the encounter with darkness, and this is basically the Calabar shadow guy, the like weird dollar store dude. And then finally the full integration, and this is where you were able to combine this witchy reality that was like the occult esoteric principles, and then bring them back into your own version of the mundane life. And we literally see all of those things happen in that order. And it's not just a hero's Joseph Campbell style myth, because it's actually about the progression of a neophyte, like a new person, kind of virgin to magic, being blocked by someone that does know the magic properties, and then being taught by an old magic archetype.
And this does follow a bit of a made-for-TV, low-budget Harry Potter arc, I guess, as a franchise, because Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge, that's the most obvious thing you could do, I guess, for that. Halloween Town High, so she's in high school. Return to Halloween Town, now she's in university. So they are kind of going, Harry Potter goes year by year, but it seems here they are going like, you know, school level by school level.
It's smart because I think that because it really does have that dollar store aesthetic to it, you're not expecting a lot, and you can kind of pump these out a little bit quicker with I assume lower budgets. I hope that this didn't have the same budget as a Hocus Pocus.
It is funny looking at the cast list, though, because the first two movies, Debbie Reynolds is top billed. The third one, she's second billed. And the last one, she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 billed, which means cameo.
Well, and sometimes the cameo appearances are just because they can't afford you anymore, too.
or because she can't be bothered anymore. You know, I've been doing these freaking Halloween Town movies for 10 years. It's time to stop. And also, I guess at that point, you know, the Kimberly J. Brown maybe was a little more marketable because people liked Halloween Town by that time. I mean, that seems to be the main thing she's known for. She do anything else? And more soap operas. Okay. So I guess they just got soap opera people and tossed them into Halloween Town.
Okay. No, this does make sense with kind of like a soap opera vibe going on.
That might explain watching her too. Like the whole time I was like trying to critically assess her acting. I'm like, I can't tell if she's good or bad, but she's doing soap opera acting. That's what's happening. It's not kid acting. It's soap opera
100%,
acting. Okay.
Yeah, 100% she is.
There we go. That's because soap opera acting is kind of like bad in its own way, but I'm like, she's not doing bad child acting, but yes, that's it. She's doing soap opera acting. Okay. Glad I worked that out for myself.
And I would say I'm not making a list yet, but I've got, if I were, I'm putting together like a list of these Disney witches archetypes, maybe like the little grid, right? The chaotic evil and the chaotic neutral and all that. I feel that the Grandma Aggie in Halloween Town is sort of the chaotic neutral witch. And I do believe that Mary Poppins is an evil witch. I don't know the other like position on the Matrix, but I am positive that Mary Poppins is bad. Positive.
Are all witches need to be preceded by chaotic? Glinda the Good Witch is be chaotic good, right?
I don't know if they all have to be chaotic. I would say that Galinda is not necessarily a chaos witch.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to equate magic with chaos, I guess, and see if they're mutually exclusive or not.
Well, it's a scale. It's a scale, just like gender and everything else.
Right. Early on, I did have to write down the quote because it's a Disney movie telling us the movies can teach us about life. So I was like, okay, that's a little on the head, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it tells you about life and rebirth a little bit too, because the other big theme on this one is the great pumpkin and this eternal flame, which is, man, this is getting into some pretty just like on the nose occultism with all of this. And the fact that Marnie uses this Merlin's talisman to like rekindle this big light. All of this seems to be nods to the Eleusinian Mysteries. And this is like Persephone's return, bringing life back into the world and restoring the sun back to the underworld, essentially, because that is kind of what Halloween Town is. Halloween Town is this occulted dark world. Even though it's very bright there, it just looks like any other town. Just everyone's always wearing Halloween costumes. So it's not literally in the dark, but it has been occulted from the real world because they can't interact with the normal world. And I guess the reason that they don't explain here is they'd all be murdered, right? Like if they were to just go into the normal world and like, here we are, we're witches, and this is what I look like, I've got like a big ogre face, they would just all be murdered immediately. So ultimately the reason for Halloween Town to exist is to prevent a genocide against all magic people.
Do you think that, actually now I'm a little more like, this is a little different than what Disney usually pushes, right? And they're going to push it a whole lot harder than this 17 years later. I'm sitting here thinking you just explained the plot of Tomorrowland as well. You just take out the jack-o'-lanterns and up the budget to 200 million, you know? That's basically Tomorrowland, right? They've secluded themselves in this weird alternate dimension. Of course, they have all that apocalyptic stuff going on there with the world-ending clock. But
they kind of did that to themselves. In Halloween Town, it's almost like the rest of the world became puritanical around them and eventually shunned all these old pagan and hermetic and alchemical rites. So then they had just been doing what people had always been doing, and then it was a new crowd of zealots that forced them into hiding. Whereas
Tomorrowland is kind of like they have this new they're a technological civilization.
But they all slowly killed themselves and then enslaved themselves to their technology, essentially.
Right. But could you not do that with magic? I mean, this movie's kind of happy, but you know, how are the freakier creatures in Halloween Town living their lives? Because Demi Reynolds can just bop on over to the real world and have dinner, whereas the guy with an actual pumpkin face probably can't do that. It's like the X-Men thing, right? You know, Wolverine go down to the local bar, but probably not Maggot.
This one too. Also, it brings up that question of Halloween or October, but Halloween in particular, it gives you this once in a year outlet to expel all these, like animosities and like all your inner demons and monsters. But in a place where you do that all the time, constantly, that's kind of what caused Rome to like start the Punic Wars and defeat Carthage and the Phoenician Empire. They were like, you can't have Halloween every day. You got to do it just like once in a while.
Oh, I have a lot of friends that hate what you just said. You can't have Halloween every day.
Well, I'm just saying, like, well,
no,
okay,
no, I'm just making it as a joke.
You can be a goth and you can like to wear Halloween clothes and be all, but honestly, just like as a society, you can't have Halloween every day. It just like the Purge, right? The Purge works because it's this one day that all the other rules are off, and then the rest of the time you got to do normal stuff. You can't have the Purge every single day because then just everyone's murdering constantly and there's no semblance of order. And I feel like the Purge is just a more extreme version of Halloween. It's Halloween minus murder.
That'll be the next Halloween Town movie. Halloween Town, The Purge.
Halloween Town, The Purge. Dude, with AI, within a year from now, we might be able to just make that and review it ourselves.
Yeah, sure. Another one that both this and Hocus Pocus have like a weird zombie sort of sidekick ancillary character. I guess that's just a Halloween thing. The one in here I wrote was a cross of Elvis, Roy Orbison, and Beetlejuice. So that was kind of fun. Again, that's something you can buy at a Spirit Halloween for $50, but
very cheesy. Yeah, the acting was about as as on point as the makeup was. Which is to say, like, it was almost falling off.
Well, it's all soap opera people, I guess, is part of it. So
it works, and also it's important to remember that 1998, maybe less so than 93, but 1998, you're not watching this in 720 or 1080p or 4K. You're not watching this on well, maybe this was on DVD in 98. But for the most part, this is on an old cathode ray tube television that's like 40 pounds. And it's got glass that'll cut you and innards that'll explode on you. This is not really something that. What I'm saying is that the cheap makeup and the cheap costumes might have been a lot more passable when this movie came out versus us watching it now in 2025.
Actually, it looks like this never had a physical release. It was on the Disney Channel. 2018 goes to streaming. And they were showing it in movie theaters, like, just one in Oregon 2 years ago. Oh, in the town it was filmed in. Okay, that makes sense. So
no one showed up.
No, we just did the Hocus Pocus one where they like properly re-released the film a few times. So here I'm looking at it's like, they just showed it in the town it was filmed in. So, which I mean that makes sense. That wasn't a snarky that makes sense. It was just me saying that makes sense. Where are we rolling here? Dun, dun. There is something to the disturbingness of an analog mask, though. Even if they're cheap, I mean, that's the movie Halloween. Michael Myers is in a cheap Captain Kirk mask, which makes him more terrifying. So there is something to low rent Halloween gear actually being.
In this movie, it's unintentional because they're supposed to be actual monsters. They're not supposed to be people dressed up. The scary part is when someone's got a cheap costume on, especially, I mean, I guess of all ages, but especially if it's like an older person, you're like, why is this adult wearing a Care Bear costume? This is actually starting to freak me out.
Yeah, I was also thinking Coco a little bit here. I mean, they're dead, and no, they're between death. So.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah, they're going because on All Hallows Eve or the original, like what is it, Samhain? I always screw the name up, but the original like Celtic origin of all this, it was because this is the night when the veil between the two different dimensions were the thinnest, so you could traverse between the two of them, which is literally the plot of the Day of the Dead movie that we just saw.
Yeah. I guess Coco just swaps out Halloween for Day of the Dead, which I guess makes sense if you're gonna add all that Mexican imagery. Use that adjective correctly.
The other thing too, this one just like Hocus Pocus, but this one also has like that Jungian archetypes where they're going through this stem of like initiation, exile, reconciliation, rebirth, all of this, that the actual Halloween town itself, I think, represents this like collective unconscious that everyone there, just like in Hocus Pocus, the three witches form this pack mentality. When you go to Halloween Town, all of Halloween Town is part of a Halloween Town pack mentality as well. Like you kind of are absorbed into like a Borg in a way.
Yeah, I'm also looking. I wrote down a few quotes, just which this is pushing very hard. Magic is just thinking about what you really want. Spells are simple. You just have to want it. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Yeah, that didn't say that. That wasn't from this movie.
That wasn't in there, but I was thinking both of those are that is like Crowleyan, like magical thinking, right? So like again, your willpower will make the magic happen.
This applies to Hocus Pocus too, but either one, this movie. So I wonder, the difference between witchcraft and alchemy seems very, very little. It's basically like if your grandma's doing it, it's witchcraft, and if your grandpa's doing it, it's alchemy. Or if it's like the weird incel that lives out in the woods that's never interacted with anyone doing it, then it's alchemy. Either one of those two. But in both magic and even in alchemy, if you go by like Rosicrucian style, or even Crowleyan style, maybe not Crowley, but like Israel Regardie, he mentioned that even if you have the formula to make the Philosopher's Stone or the lesser work, like an herbal stone, even if you have all the ingredients and all the resources and all the steps, if you do it and you're not, this I think is a quote, if you're not, quote, pure of heart, then you'll never be able to make that lesser stone. You'll never be able to the Philosopher's Stone. And that to me always felt a little bit like magic. It's almost like witchcraft, where you can cast a spell or you can try and put together a potion, but unless you're actually magic, unless you're actually a witch, then none of that will work. The same way that unless you're actually pure of heart, then you can't do alchemy, even if you've got all the ingredients and you can go through all the different paces. And I feel like that's one of the biggest points between the two of these. Like, if I go to Halloween Town, do I become magic? If I got a hold of the weird human leather skin book in Hocus Pocus and I recite the things and I do the potions, does it still work, or does it have to be done by someone that's like an adept?
I'm trying to delineate the two a little bit. I might call magic, and let's call magic a science now, just for fun. It's the science of affecting probabilities, which maybe some alchemical stuff can do that, but magic is, to me, it's tweaking probabilities, in the quantum field or whatever, if you want to make it try and sound like somewhat scientific. Whereas alchemy is more like the nuts and bolts to me. That's like, you need to have the knowledge to mix elements, that sort of thing. It's elemental, magic being not so elemental. But yeah, obviously there's a little of both, right? There's a Venn diagram there, but I feel like we can delineate the two a bit.
I don't know. I don't agree with your definition of magic.
So maybe when a witch is making that potion, the witch is doing alchemy, where the witch is casting a spell. Now it's magic. It's trying to affect probabilities. And in the media, it's real magic are very small tweaks of probability, where obviously in the movies, you got to shoot green lightning out of your wand for magic.
I guess. I don't know. I feel like magic has to have some sort of a supernatural element. And again, I just want to point out that Arthur C. Clarke didn't define magic. He just said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, but he wasn't saying that all magic is just technology unrecognized. He was just saying that's how it would appear. So I feel that there's still like real, quote unquote, real magic. It either has to involve sex or supernatural, one of those two things.
Maybe so, but that's how you affect the quantum field. I don't know. I mean, wasn't that the whole thing with Crowley wanted to blow his load all the time? He's like, the veil between the worlds is thinner when you're blowing your load.
Not now, Mom. I'm doing quantum physics.
Yeah, really. So I just do like to, I find it fascinating to think, because we see so many movies where magic is ridiculous and unrealistic. And even if the movie is great, whereas you start thinking about, well, what is magic in the real world, like, and how can you use it, positively or weirdly? So obviously, when you're getting in the real world, magic, it's getting weirder.
Well, magic in the real world is going to Spirit Halloween and then just wearing it out in public.
Okay, well then I'm doing some magic. Good for me. Because I got to wear my costume for a full 5 days, man. You got to wear them for each. It's a 5-day costume, so I wouldn't buy the cheap latex stuff because by the end of the week, that stuff's gonna suck. It's gonna smell,
I had another good quote from it. Oh, before I even forget this too, I've got my mind's jumping all over the place. Those early 80s and 90s masks, man, they had this weird vanilla smell to it that smelled so good, but I guarantee you it was like toxic because they don't smell like that anymore. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what I'm complaining about. Like, I have to avoid that kind of thing if I have to do a costume for 5 days. One of the other teachers, the first Halloween, it was 2019, so I wanted to be Thanos, right? Which meant he had to paint his head purple every day. So yeah, never again there, right?
So one of the early quotes in this movie, which I just liked: exciting, strange, and ancient. And this is them describing kind of what magic and Halloween is about.
Yeah, those are enticing words. You're like, tell me more, right? Show me trailer. What? Oh, I wrote trailer trash special effects. Trailer trash grade special effects. Show me some magic with that, which is what they do in this movie.
Oh, also, another thing, the reason that I was comparing the Grandma Aggie to Mary Poppins is because they have a scene in here that comes straight out of Mary Poppins where she brings her bag and they keep just pulling stuff out of the bag endlessly. It's like Mary Poppins' magic bag, except Grandma's bag is full of candy and skeletons.
Yeah. Also, I mean, let's face it, Debbie Reynolds is kind of doing the Julie Andrews thing before Julie Andrews was, right? She's like Julie Andrews 10 years earlier, sort of ish.
Fair enough, but not as a witch specifically, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, not as a witch. I'm just saying that the actress's vibes are, not completely far off.
What else? Another, just a random note, but I was like, there's a scene when the grandma, the very first time the grandma is explaining to her grandkids, like, hey, you're all kind of like witches and warlocks, I guess. Like, you're all magic. And one of the proof that she has is there's this book called Halloween Town. It looks like a book they probably could have printed and sold when this movie came out. I'd be surprised if they didn't. But she opens to a page and she shows it to Marnie, and Marnie's like, that's me. And the younger brother's like, that's not you. She's really cute. And I was just like, man, when he finds out that really is her, that might like mess with his head for a little bit. He might have to go to therapy over this thing because like he was like, no, this girl's really attractive. There's no way it's you. And then he's gonna find out that it was her. And then he's like, damn, I'm attracted to a cartoon version of my wife's sister or my witch sister.
Yeah, sorry, you saw me process.
That was the Mormon. That was the well, you said trailer park special effects. So my mind went to the white trash trailer park special effects.
For sure. Do ghosts sweat? If they sweat, is it ectoplasm? Is it ectoplasmic cooler?
Sure.
Okay. That was the one.
The official Tangerine one, or like the new weird remake one?
The original one's green, isn't it?
Was it? I don't know if it was green. I know the box was green.
Oh, maybe it was green. Box was green.
I know it was just tangerine. It was just tangerine flavor. That was the whole thing.
I guess you were drinking out of a box, so you never really saw the color, did you?
I mean, unless you squirted it all over the place. Maybe it was green.
I just assumed it was green. So you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, you drank out of a box and you never really saw the color.
In the 80s, they did have the technology to make whatever juice they wanted to be whatever color they wanted. This is
more colors in the 80s. More flavors, more colors when you're in the
80s. More brain damage.
Brain damage too, maybe.
One of my other notes in here was the on the bus they had a fat Frankenstein and a gremlin, like an actual gremlin from the Gremlins movie.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did. Sorry, I've been seeing lots of Gremlins for some reason. Gremlins has become something popular put on your bag and on T-shirts in Japan, like recently. Like it's
okay.
Gremlins is having a little resurgence here. So.
Have they gone into Gremlins 2 yet in Japan? Because that's the real cool one.
No, that's the Japanese thing. It's just the character. People are not getting into the movie again. They're getting into the iconography of it.
Now, when you say Gremlins, do you mean Gizmo as a Mogwai, or do you mean like Spike as a Gremlin?
Oh no, Gizmo as a Mogwai. They want cute, right?
So not a Gremlin.
No, not an actual gremlin. Yeah, I do mean Mogwai as a but yeah, that seems to be somewhat popular in Japan recently. So
I actually, man, I'll bring it next time if I remember. But I did get a Japanese vinyl figure. It wasn't a gachapon, but it came from like a Japanese shop, and it's basically like a kaiju Mogwai. It's a kaiju gizmo with like 3 eyes and fangs. I'll have to show it to you the next time we do
oh
this.
yeah, we got another thing recently. There's a baby Godzilla, so it's like Godzilla and Mothra and all the kaiju, but done as like super cute, like Sanrio style. So that's been a thing around here recently. They just put out the 70th. I told you the Godzilla guitar that looked cool. So yeah, you know we gotta keep Godzilla in your life here in Japan, right? Most of the weird crap by my computer is Star Wars, but I do have Godzilla there. Let's see where we're on here. This movie doesn't have much to do with Godzilla, so I'll stop talking about him.
No, I mean, I think we're covering it pretty well. I mean, ultimately, the whole entire movie is about this triple goddess archetype between the maiden, the mother, and the old crone, passing this torch of magic back and forth. And ultimately, Halloween Town is a straight to TV Disney movie about what the Western mysteries. And specifically the whole Eleusinian Mysteries, because the Eleusinian Mysteries is one of the older historical references to secret mysteries that not only admitted women, but women had their own branch. Like they did things and learned things and went to different initiations that men weren't even allowed into. And that's sort of the whole premise of this particular movie, is that the sequence of, the 3 women in this family are going through this transformation together.
Oh, the one thing we didn't talk about in this one is the weird time dilation. It's like, what is it? 2 weeks in Halloween Town is like 1 week in the real world or something.
It does. Yeah, I don't know why that even had to be in here. It doesn't really. It's not different enough to make a huge change. Although I guess you could use it to like buy Bitcoin or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying that takes Agatha. I'll stop calling her Debbie Reynolds. Aggie. You were calling her Aggie. But that does, I mean, they do say like she's not supernaturally aged. Like she is a normal human age, but technically she's like 200 or more. So that's just weird to think about. So she is coming from 200 is not far back enough, but add a little more of that. You're coming back from the Hocus Pocus Witch vintage as well.
Right. But I think it's an important thing to note that I don't believe that she gets to experience 200 years worth of life.
No, that's what I'm saying. She's experiencing a normal human life as a witch.
Yeah.
But she's experiencing time normally, but because she's in Halloween Town, from an Earth perspective, she's like 200 plus.
So in the normal world, if like a president that gets elected that you don't like, you're just like, I'm going to Halloween Town where I can not even pay attention to this. And then when I come back, like only 2 years has passed for me and it's been 4 for you.
Right. Or you just move to Japan for 20 years. Right. So, but yeah. I mean, that is like, when things get rough, because she can at least kind of walk in both worlds. Some of these Halloween creatures cannot. They have to basically be in Halloween Town or get, chased by a mob. Frankenstein's monster is not going to do well at the mall, where Aggie should be fine.
Right. Again, because ultimately the threat is murder.
Yeah. So Frankenstein's monster has just been there for 200 years. And maybe from the perspective there, it's just been like a couple months. A few years, maybe. I don't know. I don't know exactly how the dilation works. Neither do they, to be fair. I don't think anyone. I think I'm thinking about it harder now than the writers did writing this. So, no, I definitely see, like, you see this movie when you're 10 to 12 years old. The cheesiness of it would like be a hook, and you'd love watching it now. Me watching it at age 46 for the first time is like, I don't hate myself for watching this. I would watch Pee-wee's, Christmas special again, which is really annoying, but I have the nostalgia for that, right?
This one too, I think it might be the most well-lit Halloween movie I've ever seen. And well-lit is the wrong way to describe this. I would say it's the brightest. It has the most bright scenes out of any Halloween movie I've ever seen. And maybe part of that is the soap opera roots a little bit.
I have a feeling that might be the case. Hey, what is the best daylight horror film for you? There's not many daylight horror films. This isn't horror, of course. It's just Halloween Town. But
well, technically doesn't. Oh man, I mean, when you say best, I don't know best. I can think of two off the top of my head, but the weirdest daylight one, doesn't Human Centipede take place in the day? He doesn't wait for night to do that. He does that out in the front lawn during daylight.
because of my weird film podcast, I've seen the second phase and the third phase of the Human Centipede, but I've never seen the first one. I haven't seen the only one that people say might actually be at least a little bit good.
For the novelty of it, but if you already know what the premise is, it's maybe lost a little bit on you. But how could you not see the first one? I feel like
because it's not on the bad movie list, whereas 2 and 3 are.
Okay, all right.
And now it's just funny to be like, I saw 2 and 3 and not 1. Just how I told you I saw Halloween 3 and I haven't seen any other Halloween movies, you know?
This is like saying you've seen American Psycho 2, but not American Psycho 1.
Yeah. It's like saying I went to Disneyland and I got some McDonald's fries and then I left.
They sell McDonald's at Disneyland?
They did 20 years ago. I don't know why that was the first. You get a Starbucks and leave. They got Starbucks in the parks now, I think.
They absolutely do.
I don't think they do here. They don't here, but yeah, I think American ones do.
In fact, the last time I went to a Starbucks in a Disney park, there was a tile on the ground that had some shape or something, and one of the Starbucks employees asked me if I knew what it was, and I did. I think it was Epcot. I think we were at Epcot, and he was like, "Do you know what Epcot stands for?" And I got it right, and he gave me a freaking Starbucks Disney exclusive pin for getting it right. So apparently, there's just random workers in Starbucks on Disney property that can give you free stuff if you answer trivia questions.
One more thing I want to bring up, just since we bring up, the people that are more responsive to mind control or whatever. Mom is very ginger in this movie, but none of the kids are, and grandma's not. I just was noting that they had a very, freckly redheaded actress as mom, who is not into this stuff.
Does red hair skip a generation? I don't know if it does.
Well, it is a recessive gene, right? So
Okay.
You can have a bunch of kids where that gene does not carry on. But I'm thinking of casting, right? Just like, since we have an eye out for that thing. I was just noting that Mom, who's very against all of this magic crap for most of the movie, is in that space, right?
Well, she's tired of getting kidnapped and having her blood taken from her.
Yeah, maybe she had like horrible, weird traumas going on as a kid. We don't know. Yeah.
We don't get the dark side of Halloween Town. There's got to be a dark side of Halloween Town. Just
right, it's too brightly lit. We don't know what goes on at night. We don't know what goes on in the basements. Halloween Town might be a truly evil place, and this is just the PR campaign for it. Place of your deepest nightmares when the sun goes down.
Oh no! What else can we squeeze out of Halloween Town here?
I think we're getting the other thing is, since they actually did film on location in a town in Oregon, I guess it's just like, let's film it in a day because we have a $4 million budget and that's it. So as far as notes, more to say about this. I brought up the psychic cab already. I'd like that. There's, like you said, it is the Euclidean magic stuff in here is cool, but the movie itself only has so much meat to the bone because they're buying dollar store costumes, You've kind of shot yourself in the foot a little bit once you start doing that.
I mean, or you can just completely lean into it, which they did.
Yeah. Well, I'd say one of the movies that I think lean the best into having no budget whatsoever. Have you seen Forbidden Zone?
No.
About 1980s. It's direct. Is
this like an Outer Limits kind of thing?
No, it's a 70s art collective from like LA or something. And they spent like, it was like, and Danny Elfman's brother directed it, and then Danny Elfman plays Satan in it. And I recommend watching. Oingo Boingo does the music, right? I recommend watching the colorized version because it's a psychedelic, weird, bizarre, recently done one. But yeah, it's just like they made this movie on no budget and really lean into it. So,
if you told me I had the option between an Oingo Boingo or a Devo, score, I feel like I would go with Devo without now maybe not. Now that we've seen Halloween Town, maybe he'd be like, I'm not gonna go with Devo.
Yeah. Well, Mark Mothersbaugh has done some I think he's done like Wes Anderson movies and stuff. He's done some good scores before. This is not one of them. Like maybe he whistled this in his sleep. I don't know. So, I mean, it does just sound like, again, it just sounds like chintzy TV music a lot of the time.
He showed up and he saw the costumes everyone was wearing and he's like, oh, I get the vibe. All right, I can just phone this one in.
Not putting any effort into this. Like, what other movies has he scored? Because I'd say at this point, he's probably, when he's dead, he'll probably be a little more into history book as a film composer than the leader of Devo. And not according to Wiki, they're still putting Devo up top. But he's done quite a few movies, which I'm still scrolling down for. Wow, he's done a ton. Oh, he did Thor Ragnarok. Okay, one of the Hotel Transylvanias. The Life Aquatic. There's that Wes Anderson had in mind. He's got real credits. Yeah, he's done some stuff, but yeah, not at this point. It seems like he was just starting to do a little film music around this time. So maybe he just wasn't good at it in 1998. That might be the actual answer. He just hadn't gotten his sea legs on film scoring yet.
That's fine. He had plenty of practice though before then.
Yeah, but doing Whip It and doing a film score, different beats, aren't they?
I guess so. I guess it's a fair point.
Anyway, I guess that means I said all I need to say about Halloween Town. So, got anything else there?
I mean, yeah, this movie, it's deeper than I think that comes across, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's worth watching. Now, there might be people that are like, how dare you say that? That's the nostalgia factor. Let me just say that the nostalgia factor is probably the only reason that you would think that this movie is good.
Yeah, because Hocus Pocus, again, not my favorite movie, which hopefully no one's offended by, but that one is a proper production. It looks like a real movie. It feels like a real movie.
Theatrical release versus straight to TV release has a lot to do with both of those, but we've seen straight to TV movies that looked a lot better.
We did Tower of Terror, which I would say looked better in this, maybe in part because it didn't have so much crazy stuff to put in. Because they do have to make Halloween Town look like a crazy place, and they try, and they don't really succeed.
Okay, good point. Tower of Terror, well, it looked better. I think it was more boring. It was more boring experience. It was a more boring movie. This one is not as boring, but I don't know. It's very lukewarm. Like there's enough things happening on screen, enough different. Like when you see the weird zombie Elvis guy overacting with the bad makeup, I don't know. It's entertaining to see it, but at no point are you like, man, this is a good movie. I don't think that ever comes across my mind watching it.
Also, Tower of Terror had the plus where while they did film most of it in Burbank on sound stages, they could go use this giant theme park attraction that the Disney company had already spent millions of dollars on. And that's not, you don't have to count that in your production costs. It's just already there,
Yeah, well, here they had to build an entire town called Halloween Town in an alternate dimension. I don't even know what the budget is on that.
Oh, yeah, $4 million. Whereas Hocus Pocus
just have Spirit of Halloween make a movie. They could probably do it for a pretty decent budget because they've already got like all the props, all the real estate, everything. All they really need
can get the space to film it. They can get the space. I guess we will wind this one down for today then and wish everyone a happy Halloween Town.
Happy Halloween Town.
Yeah. Where do you want to send people for their Halloween?
Well, let's see. What's the next month?
You can knock on your door. You give them some top ramen.
I would say that again. I'll just do the same promo as I did for the last episode, just because you got to hear something 7 times before it sinks in. So actually, let me just say it 7 times in a row. Go to the Paranoid American podcast. I'm not actually going to do that 7 times in a row, but wherever you listen to podcasts, just search for Paranoid American Podcast and subscribe, and you'll get plenty of different episodes of Occult Disney, Cartoon Cabal, Under the Docks, where we review old conspiracy and mainstream documentaries. The Paranoid American Podcast, where I interview a whole bunch of different people. For whatever reason, October was like Mason month. I interviewed a whole bunch of Masons, and I asked them questions about all the weird Masonic conspiracies you could think of. So if that sounds even vaguely interesting, you should go and check that out. I also interviewed the old producer of Unsolved Mysteries, who just released a book about Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma City bombing. So yeah, it's kind of all over the place, but it's all interesting. And you can find all of those different episodes under just one podcast, the Paranoid American Podcast.
And on my end, I think I'll just say my music link today. And for rovingsagemedia.bandcamp.com, I got binaural beats. Play them while, if people do come trick-or-treating, play them real loud. You'll creep some kids out.
Learn about the full history of the Bavarian Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt, Alumbrados, Jesuits, Rosicrucians, Freemasons, and more. From the 18th century to modern day, we expose it all. That's right, it's the Illuminati comic from Donut and Paranoid American. Get yours now at IlluminatiComic.com.
Paranoid. Yo. I scribble my life away, driven to write the page. Will it enlighten your brain? Give you the flight, my plane, paper the highs ablaze. Somewhat of an amazing feel when it's real to real. You will engage it. Your favorite, of course, the Lord of an arrangement. I gave you the proper results to hit the pavement. If they get emotional, hey, maybe a language, a game, how they playing it well without Lakers. Evade them, whatever the cost, they are the shapeshift. Snakes get decapitated, met is the apex. Execution of flame you out, nuclear bomb distributed at war, rather gruesome for eyes to see. Max them out, then I light my trees. Blow it off in the face, you're despising me for what though? Calculated and rather cutthroat. Paranoid American must be all the blunt smoke for real. Lord, give me a day away, vacate. They wait around to hate whatever they say. Man, it's not in the least bit. We get heavy rotate when the beat hits, so thank us, you're welcome. Fuck the niggas for real, you're welcome. They ain't never had a deal, you're welcome. Man, they lacking appeal, you're welcome. Yet they doing it still, you're welcome.